Assalamu alaikum dear students, welcome back to Top Lesson for You. As you all know, we have started series of lectures on the anatomy of human circulatory system. In this series of lectures, we have recorded up to now about 7 or 8 videos. And in the yesterday's lecture, we discussed about the structure of the walls of blood vessels, right? Yesterday we discussed about the structure of walls of the blood vessels. Now in this lecture, in today's lecture, we are recalling about the types of arteries. What are arteries and what are their types, right? So let's discuss types of arteries. Okay. First of all, let me define what is artery. Let us define first artery. Friends, we have different types of blood vessels, about 5 types of blood vessels in our body. One of them is artery. Now, what is artery? Let us know from the diagram the definition of artery. Friends, this is our left ventricle, right? This is left ventricle, and from this left ventricle, okay, let me say that this is not only left ventricle, this is our heart, right? It is a simplified diagram just to know about arteries. It is a very simple diagram. This is our heart. Now we know that some blood vessels come towards the heart, right? This is a blood vessel which is coming towards the heart. Okay, this blood vessel brings blood towards the heart. This is heart, and this is the vessel, and this vessel is responsible to bring the blood towards the heart. And then there is another vessel which is leaving the heart and which is taking the blood away from the heart, right? And this vessel is taking the blood away from the heart. So the vessel which is bringing the blood towards the heart is called the vein, and the vessel which is taking the blood away from the heart, this is called artery. Artery means away from the heart, away from heart. This is the meaning of artery. So what is artery? What are arteries? Arteries are those blood vessels which is doing what? Which takes blood away from heart. These are called arteries. So what are arteries? Arteries are those blood vessels which take the blood away from the heart towards the body, organs and tissues. Okay, we don't say that arteries are those blood vessels which carry oxygenated blood. No, because there is an artery, there is a blood vessel which is taking the blood away from the heart, but still it contains deoxygenated blood. We say that those blood vessels which take the blood away from the heart, those are called arteries. We don't explain here the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. In case of arteries, we just say that those blood vessels which take the blood away from the heart are called the arteries. Okay, now let's move towards the types of arteries. Types. How many types of arteries do we have in our body? So the first type of artery that we have are the elastic arteries. Elastic arteries. And what are elastic arteries? I will write their names and I will tell you some little points about their structure and about their composition. In the previous lecture, in yesterday's lecture, we have friends already recorded about the structure of the walls of blood vessels. In this lecture, we are just mentioning the arteries, the types of arteries which are present in our body, right? So the first one is the elastic artery, and these elastic arteries are also known as conducting arteries. Conducting arteries. Okay. What is the diameter of these arteries? The diameter of these arteries. From diameter, we mean that this is the lumen. Look carefully. This is the lumen. This area is the lumen, and this is the wall of the artery. Right? So from diameter, we mean what is the full diameter of this artery. So their full diameter is about 1.5 centimeter. Right? So the diameter of elastic arteries is about 1.5 centimeter. Okay. Then we say, what is the wall thickness? Wall thickness. What is meant by wall thickness? Wall thickness means this is lumen and this is the wall of this blood vessel. And what is the thickness of this wall? We mean, right, here is the lumen. This is the lumen and this is the wall of the artery. So the whole diameter is about 1.5 centimeter. And what is the wall thickness of these arteries? Their wall thickness is about 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter. Right? So this is the thickness of their wall. Next thing, important thing about these arteries is that in their wall, here, they have lots of collagen fibers, they have lots of elastic fibers, and they have lots of smooth muscle cells, right? So we say they contain, in their walls, they contain collagen fibers, huge amount, collagen fibers, elastic fibers, in huge amount. Okay. Next thing about them, important thing, they have smooth muscles. As we know that these arteries in their tunica media, they have smooth muscle cells. So they have about 6 to 7 layers of smooth muscle cells, right? So we say here that they have 6 to 7 layers of smooth muscles in where? In tunica media. In tunica media. Right? So these are some important points. They are called conducting arteries. Their diameter is about 1.5 centimeter. Their wall thickness is about 1 mm. And they contain lots of huge amount of collagen fibers, elastic fibers in their tunica externa, tunica media, and tunica interna also, right? So next thing is that they contain 6 to 7 layers of smooth muscles in their tunica media. For example, let me draw it here. As we know that this is our tunica interna, and then there is tunica media. So these arteries have about 6 to 7 layers. This is first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth and sixth and seventh layer. So they have thick tunica media, right? As they have many layers of smooth muscle cells in their tunica media, so we say that they have thick tunica media. Okay. So this was the first type of arteries in our body, that is elastic arteries, right? And the example of such arteries is the aorta. Examples of elastic arteries or conducting arteries is aorta, right? Let's move forward. The second type of arteries, the second type, that is the muscular arteries. Muscular arteries. Okay. What are muscular arteries? These arteries are also known as distributing arteries. Distributing arteries. Okay. Elastic arteries are known as conducting arteries. Muscular arteries are also known as distributing arteries. Okay. What is their diameter? The diameter of muscular arteries is about 6 millimeter. 6 mm. Now look, here the diameter is more, here the diameter is less, right? So their diameter is about 6 mm and their wall thickness is again about 1 mm, 1 millimeter. Okay, let's move forward. These are the three important points about them. The fourth point, they also contain collagen and elastic fibers, but less than the elastic arteries, right? They also contain muscular arteries also contain collagen fibers and elastic fibers, but less than elastic arteries. So they also contain collagen and elastic fibers, but less than elastic arteries. In elastic arteries, there are more collagen and elastic fibers in their different tunics. But here in muscular arteries, there are collagen fibers and elastic fibers also, but less than the elastic arteries, right? Next thing, we say that in their tunica media, they have about 5 to 6 layers of smooth muscles, cells in tunica media, right? They have 5 to 6 layers of smooth muscle cells in their tunica media, as I have mentioned here, right? They have about 6 to 7 layers and they have about 5 to 6 layers of the smooth muscle cells in their tunica media, right? They have, their tunica adventitia is little thick. They have thick tunica adventitia. I have already talked about different tunics and tunica adventitia in the previous lecture, right? So this was about the muscular arteries, right? We have elastic arteries in our body, we have muscular arteries in our body. Okay, the third type of arteries that we have in our body, third one, is the arterioles. Arterioles, right? And arterioles have a very small diameter than the muscular arteries. Okay, let us move forward. What is the diameter of these arteries? Diameter. So the diameter of these arteries is smaller than the muscular arteries, so their diameter is about 37 micrometer, right? Their diameter is about 37 micrometer and their wall thickness is about 6 micrometer. Okay, they have thin tunica media. They have thin tunica media, right? The next point, the important point, that they have less fibers. These fibers may be elastic fibers and collagen fibers. So they have less fibers, right? Then next important point, they have two layers of smooth muscles and tunica media. Right? So now look here. Here are 7 layers, then here are 5 to 6 layers, and in arterioles the layers of the smooth muscles are becoming less. So they have about 2 layers of the smooth muscle cells in their tunica media, right? Look at their diameter. Look at their wall thickness. Okay, so the third type of arteries that we have in our body are the arterioles. The fourth type of arteries that we have are the terminal arterioles. Terminal arterioles. Okay, what are these arterioles? We say that their diameter is about, what is their diameter? Let me write them here. Their diameter is about 30 micrometer. It is becoming less. Look here, it is 37 micrometer. Here is 30 micrometer. And their wall thickness is about 4 micrometer. Look, here is 6, here is 4, right? Then the next thing, they also have thin tunica media. They also contain less fibers in their tunics, right? And they also contain 2 layers of smooth muscles in tunica media, right? So the fourth type of arteries is the terminal arterioles, and the last type of arteries that we have in our body are the meta-arterioles, right? These are the meta-arterioles. Okay, what are the meta-arterioles? So meta-arterioles are the lateral branches of the terminal arterioles. I will draw the diagram, right? These are the lateral branches of terminal arterioles. Okay, what is their diameter? So the diameter of these meta-arterioles is about 20 micrometer. They have very less diameter, right? And what is their function? The function of meta-arterioles is to connect to capillaries. Meta-arterioles connect to the capillaries, right? So these were the 5 types of arteries that we have in our body. The first one, elastic arteries. The second one, muscular arteries, arterioles, terminal arterioles, and the meta-arterioles, right? These are the largest arteries, elastic arterioles. And these meta-arterioles are the smallest arteries in our body, and they connect the arterial system to the venous system. They both the systems, on one side there is venous system, on other side there is arterial system. So in between there is capillaries. So meta-arterioles are responsible to connect the arterial system towards the venous system, right? So friends, these were some types of arteries that we have in our body.